Hello and welcome to Undercurrent. I'm your host, Angela McDonald. Who would think that 100 objects could reflect the history of the world? The British Museum has brought 100 objects to the West Australian Museum here in Perth, some of which are 2 million years old. Our Undercurrent reporter Nadia had the privilege of seeing these objects firsthand.
Today we are here for a historical exhibition at the Western Australian Museum entitled A History of the World in 100 Objects.
This wonderful exhibition from the British Museum here in Perth at the Western Australian Museum. This is one of only 2 locations where this exhibition will be in Australia, the other being the National Museum of Australia in Canberra later this year. So I do encourage everybody from Perth and Western Australia who is able to visit to come and have a look. With my quick visit to this point, it looks absolutely outstanding. There is a range of objects, obviously 100 plus one other from Western Australia, which is significant, which are really important, some of them going back to 2 million years ago, and they do tell through their own individual stories the history of humankind over all of that period of time. This is an exhibition which was obviously developed in Britain around a BBC radio series initially, which I'm told was very, very popular within Britain, and we are now very fortunate to be able to see the results of the exhibition here in Perth in Western Australia.
Thank you for joining us, Alec.
Absolute pleasure.
How does it feel?
Oh, look, we're so delighted to have this exhibition here. We've had a 5-year relationship with the British Museum, one that we hope will continue well into the future as we develop the new museum here in Perth. But this is really special. This is history of the world in 100 objects. First showing in Australia, some objects here that have never been shown anywhere outside the British Museum before, and we're just stoked about it, to be honest. And you can hear the excitement all around us. I think people are just they're pretty much blown away by the quality of the material. I think in the old days, the big national museums, whether it's in Europe or anywhere else, might have lent you some of the crumbs from their table, but that's not the case here. We've got the absolute highest quality objects that have been brought and selected by the best curators in some of the best conditions. And what always happens here, which I'm very pleased about, whenever the people from the British Museum come here and they see what our designers have actually done with it, they always say, this looks better than we've ever seen it before. And I think we've got some very talented people here. And so, as I say, we're just delighted about it.
That's fantastic news.
Okay.
It's wonderful to be here in Perth and to see how wonderful the exhibition looks. So thank you to all the colleagues at the Western Australian Museum. We're absolutely delighted to continue our long-term partnership with the Western Australian Museum. As I said, it's already been 5 years and we do hope it will continue long into the future. What is really exciting for us is, as a museum of the world for the world, to be able to share our collection, which is very rich and diverse, with audiences here in Perth. And I do hope you'll all have a chance to come and look, because it looks absolutely stunning. And as Alex said, there's certain things that you wouldn't really be able to see anywhere else apart from the British Museum. So it's the very first time anywhere else in the world it is here in Perth. So I do hope you'll come and have a look. And also, it is really tremendously for us that this is the very last exhibition that you're having before you embark on your fantastic new project. It sounds really exciting, and we do look forward to continuing to working together with your new museum and audience. Thank you.
Dr. Moyer-Smith, thank you for joining us. And we're starting at the beginning of the exhibition. Can you please tell me about this stone chopping tool and the date specifically?
So this is the oldest object, humanly made object in the British Museum. It is a stone chopping tool that is 2 million years old and comes from Tanzania, from Olduvai Gorge. It was discovered in 1938 by Louis Leakey, whose son then continued to work in Tanzania, in the Rift Valley, and continued to find amazing objects made by ancient humans, or the ancestors of ancient humans rather than ancient humans. But this, people often look at it and say, it's just a lump of rock. You think, well, no, it's not just a lump of rock. It's clear that an early human has picked it up, has struck flakes of it, and then has used it to do something else. So it's this sudden explosion in the beginning of the human voyage to where we are today. It's wonderful to just catch that in one tiny little stone like this.
We produced these, the antennas. This is our first collaborative installation by Yamaji art artists. And when we were out there, because we'd been painting stories and telling our stories about the Milky Way and collecting emu eggs and the Seven Sisters and the position and around food collecting, and telling our stories on the way we look at the sky. So we wanted to get the antennas so they cascaded from the sky like the sound waves and came down into what we reconstructed, one of the MWA antennas, and to put our hands on. And it was a pretty special way to do a different collaboration. It's the first time that Yamaji Arts has done an installation like this, so it's the first time that it's been produced in the Yamaji region, so that's kind of special as well.
We're really lucky to have this piece in the exhibition. It's one of the perhaps best known objects in the British Museum. It's quite rare that it leaves the British Museum, so to have it here in Australia as part of this tour is really, really special. And it's not just special to have it here, it's special to have it at all, because this is an incredibly rare object. It's rare to have surviving bronze sculpture from the ancient world. It just generally, we know there was bronze sculpture, it got melted down, it doesn't survive. So to have a surviving bronze portrait of such a famous historical character as the Emperor Augustus is really, really special. And to have the original inlaid eyes, I mean, this doesn't happen normally. It just doesn't happen.
I'm Nadia Hunter, reporting for Undercurrent.
Many of us dream about becoming a filmmaker. There's lots of hard work that goes on behind the scene to make your film made. Ben Croker was working full-time and decided to throw that in and become a student. He joined the West Australian Screen Academy at Edith Cowan University and graduated with his Masters. During the program, Ben made his own short film and his own documentary, both of which now have caught the eye of industry heavyweights. I spoke with Ben and found out what hard work and dedication went on behind the scenes and where his future is going now. The West Australian Screen Academy, it's producing some great results, and you're one of them.
Well, I had a bit of an unusual background in the group because I was a first-time filmmaker coming into the academy. I have done some writing in the past, but I've never been on the set of a film before. So they took a bit of a chance in taking me on board as a writer and producer when I hadn't had anything produced. So 12 months later, looking back to see the journey that I've been on, it's been an amazing learning opportunity and something that I've really grasped with both hands and run with. And now I'm pursuing it on a full-time basis.
So out of the WA Screen Academy, you've had excellence in script writing, best documentary and finalist as Student of the Year. Since then, tell us what has evolved from those achievements.
Well, those awards were recognition of the hard work and effort that I put in throughout the year and kind of cemented in me a decision to pursue this full-time as a career. So at the end of last year, I gave up my day job of almost 20 years running my family's industrial manufacturing business and decided now that I've graduated that I would like to pursue this on a full-time basis. So I've been doing whatever I can to try and put my feelers out there and get some real-world industry experience now. Yeah, well, I wrote and produced a short film called True Colours, a dramatic short film, which was based a little bit on autobiographical material from my school days and dealt with the issue of homophobic bullying. And the film was really well received and had some good results. And I was very pleased with the finished product. And actually that film was recently chosen to screen at Flickerfest Film Festival in Sydney at Bondi Beach, which is the first time that the WA Screen Academy film has been selected to screen in competition at that prestigious festival. So that was really exciting. I got to go over to Sydney and to be part of that environment and see for the first time what it's like to be surrounded by filmmakers and part of that film festival atmosphere, and it was a really amazing experience.
And Best Documentary for the Academy for 2015?
Yeah, that was a very unexpected prize, I must say. I came up with a documentary idea to discuss a subject matter, again, that's very personal to me, about the issues of weight loss and the excess skin that remains after losing a large amount of weight. And the film was very raw. I wanted it to be really raw and honest and open and discuss this topic which isn't really spoken about in the media. And the audience and the judges obviously reacted well to that, and we did win the Best Documentary Award, which was amazing. We are looking for opportunities to take this particular project further by continuing on with the next stage of filming of that project. So we're looking at various options for that at this point in time. But that was really exciting to be able to win that award as well.
So with those wins behind you, where is it leading you now? What opportunities are coming from that?
Well, I've been putting my fingers out, my feelers out in many different areas as possible as both a writer and a producer. I'm fortunate enough that Screen West have agreed to provide me with some funding to attend the National Screenwriters Convention in a couple of weeks' time, which is really great. And the week before that is actually the Australian International Documentary Convention, also in Victoria. So I've decided I was going to go along to that as well. And as part of that, there was a number of submission opportunities there to be able to put your ideas forward and to be selected for various programs. And one of the programs that I've been recently announced as being selected for is called the Access Mentorship Program, where they have special sessions with a number of different international filmmakers, and that you, at the end of it, one of the participants is chosen to have a 4-week international all expenses paid internship to London, which would be absolutely amazing to further your career in that way. So I've got my fingers crossed that, you know, we can come through with the goods with that one, but either way, going to both of those conferences is going to be an amazing learning opportunity for me and a networking opportunity for me going forward with my career.
And so how would you rate the West Australian Screen Academy after all your wonderful experiences?
Well, as I mentioned at the graduation speech last weekend, my time at the Academy I could probably only best describe as being a 10-month non-stop roller coaster ride, where so many ups and downs and all over the place, but ultimately it's been a really rewarding and amazing experience, and something that I'm 100% happy that I jumped into, and that I look forward to now taking what I've learnt there and the relationships that I've built going forward and making a new career for myself in the entertainment industry.
Stay with us on WTV. We'll be back shortly with more Undercurrent. This is the year of the monkey for the Chinese New Year, and celebrations for Chinese New Year are all over the world, and Chinese Australians see this as a very significant event. In Perth, there were a number of events that went on, and our Undercurrent correspondent, Louise, found out what events were going on.
Today is very special for the Chinese community in Perth, because they're going to celebrate the Chinese New Year, the Year of the Monkey. The 2016 Chinese New Year Festival is organized by Zhonghua Association. I'm with Mr. Ding Shaoping. Mr. Ding is the president of Zhonghua Association. Happy Chinese New Year, Mr. Ding.
Chinese New Year. Happy Chinese New Year to everyone.
Please tell us the background and the purpose of this Chinese New Year in Perth.
The Chinese New Year Fair, this is the 5th year. We have organized this event for 4 years. In the past 4 years, it was very successful. And last year, we have visitors of over 80,000. And today, the people give me the reports, much more people than last year. The purpose we organize this event is because in Perth, particularly in the whole Australian, the rating of the Chinese population is getting higher and higher. And the Chinese New Year is celebrated in a lot of Asian countries, and just not only Chinese, include Singapore, Philippines, Malaysia, Korea, all those countries. So it's actually part of the multicultural of our country, Australia. So we are very, enjoy to do this kind of event, to share this, event with everyone, and we hope all of the visitors will enjoy the programs we set up for the Chinese New Year Fair.
Happy Chinese New Year, Dr. Tan. So, do you have some good wishes that you would like to address to the Chinese community today?
Yes, definitely. The Year of Monkey is very auspicious. Monkey Year is creative year and intelligent. And my wishes to the Chinese community and to the WA community at large is a healthy, happy Chinese New Year. Thank you.
Happy Chinese New Year.
Happy Chinese New Year to you too and to all of your viewers. And I hope that you had a chance to come down today because it's been an absolutely fabulous day. The Chunghwa Association have outdone themselves once again. And we've seen thousands of people across Western Australia come and enjoy all the beautiful festivities, and there's been some great performances, some great food to enjoy, lots of cultural events, and we've also got a concert coming up in the next couple of hours too, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Happy Chinese New Year, Mr.
恭喜发财.
恭喜发财. So, in terms of the Western Australia cultural diversity, how does this Chinese New Year festival contribute to the multiculturalism?
Enormously. This weekend, both into the Tet Festival with the Vietnamese community and this festival here, we will have over 50,000 Western Australians from various communities, Chinese, Vietnamese, and all around Western Australia, no matter where they come from, celebrating Lunar New Year and Chinese New Year. It's a great festival. It brings families together, it brings communities together, and increasingly, Chinese New Year is one of the key hallmarks of the Western Australian community throughout the year. It shows how we've changed. It shows the importance of Asia to Western Australia. It shows our link with the Chinese community. It's tremendous.
Undercurrent.
Since 1991, Italian Australians have been competing in the Italian Consuls Cup, and this year was no different. It's a very prestigious sailing race that attracts businessmen, VIPs and dignitaries. Held at the Royal Perth Yacht Club, it was a fierce battle on the 18th of February 2016. There were 8 crews and there was one winner. I went along and found out what was so important about the Italian Consuls Cup 2016. The Italian Chamber of Commerce and Industry holds a number of important events for the Italian Australian community in Perth throughout the year. One such event, held on the 18th of February, was the Italian Consuls Cup. a prestigious yacht race held on the Swan River from the Royal Perth Yacht Club. 8 crews of businessmen, VIPs and sailing enthusiasts came for the event, and Undercurrent found out who won the race.
Okay, it gives me pleasure to announce third place for the 2016 Consuls Cup. Third place, Dorsonia. In second place, we have the Frio Group. And in first place, Pronto Fine Foods.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Italian Consulate. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank everyone for participating, my crew. And it was so enjoyable. We had a wonderful time and a wonderful evening. Thank you to everyone.
How important is the Consuls Cup for the Italian and Australian community?
It's a mixture of business and pleasure. We've had 9 boats out there battling this afternoon. So 9 different companies have paid for the privilege of sponsoring a boat. They've had their crew out on the Swan River, and we find that as a summer event, it brings together the community and also gives an opportunity for business and wives and family and staff to participate in an event such as a Consuls Cup. I think we've been doing it for about 12 to 15 years. So it's one thing that the Italian community and also general business here in Perth look forward to doing.
So how was the race today?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I can't say much else because I was here on the ground organizing all the rest. So, but the boat just came back, and they said they had a pretty good time with pretty much, quite a bit of wind. So they enjoy themselves.
And what goes behind the preparations?
Preparation starts, a little bit before, organizing all the day and promoting the activity and encouraging companies, Italian or Australian companies, to join this beautiful competition. And a few months ago we started encouraging people to join, and we had a fully booked tonight with the 9 boats competing, plus other people that will come only to enjoy their dinner in this beautiful location.
The boats are fairly, the boats are a great facility that we have here in Western Australia. They are probably one of the best matched fleet of boats in the world. They're 36 foot long. They're our second generation of these boats. They've been that good that when we replaced the fleet, we used exactly the same boats. And you saw from the racing today how close they are and what great boats they are.
So what course did they take around the river?
It was an interesting course today where the sea breeze didn't make it into the Swan River this afternoon. So we're sailing on a southeasterly breeze, which changes the makeup of the Swan River from the normal Frio Doctor. And so they shifted, the boats went from Royal Perth across the start line into the breeze and sailing across towards the South of Perth Yacht Club to the freeway, and then bore away and down the great expanse of Melville Water. A most magnificent racetrack. All the people who visit Perth from around the world are blown away by the sailing facility we have here on the Swan River. And it's just fabulous.
How is your role in Western Australia? How do you find it?
Well, Western Australia is really great. I just arrived. I arrived in last September. It's only 5 months, more or less, I'm here. It's really great. I mean, really wonderful place, great people. We have a strong community here, a really large community. We are really proud of them. They worked hard and they gained the respect of the Australian people. Now we are only a people, only population. We are sister countries. In my opinion, we are so close and we are really happy for that.
And how did you end up coming to Western Australia then?
I worked for 3 years in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Italy, in Rome, and then I was appointed here to Perth, to Western Australia. It's my first appointment abroad, and I'm really, really happy with that. I'm really proud to represent Italy and to represent this wonderful community of the Italians here in Western Australia.
The Italian business sectors, they're very established within Western Australia and they've made a huge impact.
Yeah, that's true. Now we have 40 companies here in Western Australia from Italy. We are really proud of that. They work really, really well. I give you a couple of examples. The first one I told you before, Salini in Pregilo, that won this tender for Forestfield Airport link. The second example is the pedestrian bridge connecting East Perth to the stadium. An Italian company is working on that, Rizzani De Ecker. We are really happy with that. You know, we can bring here a lot of skills, experience. There are these companies that work all around the world. They can do a great job, and we think that they can really contribute to the development of this state.
How do you see the future for the Cup?
Oh, look, it's something that is a fixture. We've reinvented it to increase interest. Every year is slightly different. And every year, I think there is a maximum of 12 boats. We had 9 or 10 this year. So it's not too bad in terms of the economic environment here in Perth as well. And people still willing to sponsor the boats and race.
I'm Angela McDonald for Undercurrent. You've been watching Undercurrent for WTV. Thanks for your company, take care, and we'll see you next week.